What's up, everyone? Cregan here. I'm going to bring you my Uncharted 3 review. In this review, I'm going to give a unbiased opinion. If I was biased, seeing as how they gave me the tickets to the AMC event to go to that, and overall just being my favorite game, I would give it a 10 out of 10. But I'm going to avoid that. I wanted to take this approach as if someone had played Uncharted 2 and then played Uncharted 3, and give you at least my opinion of a not Cregan perspective, because I am a Naughty Dog fanboy. So, here it is. I'll tell you when spoilers come along, once I start talking about the story and things like that, but I'm going to give you an overall score right now and what I feel it is. And a lot of you might be mad about this, but I'm, like I said, unbiased. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. If I ever did a scale like that, I would say it's about an 8.5 out of 10. Which is low compared to all of my claims of saying it was Game of the Year. But there are a lot of reasons and why I see them dropping a ball a lot on this game. Let's get it right into the multiplayer. Just from the time that we first got our hands on the game in July with the July beta, it was rough at first, and as they progressed and they were doing pretty much daily updates for the beta, by the end of the beta, I thought it was solid. I thought it was mint, and I could not wait for the finished product. I thought they did a lot of great work to it. They made really quick changes in the short amount of time that we had the beta to make it feel as good as possible. When the Subway beta came out, they changed it all. So they pretty much did all that hard work for nothing. And I'm not the only one that I feel this way. I read the Naughty Dog forums, and I saw a lot of people that were asking for the July beta back when the Subway promotion was going on. And my biggest problem with Naughty Dog is that they feel the need to reinvent themselves so many times in the cycle of one game. For example, Uncharted 2, when it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths when they did the damage level changes, when they did a vote and everything. I've already explained this plenty of times, but if you've been around since Uncharted 2 and the 1.04 issue, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was the first stone thrown by Naughty Dog. And then when this came out and it was feeling so good at the end of the beta, they totally changed it for the Subway promotion. And as time went on, they made little and little changes, but they weren't for the best. They forgot that so many people liked that beta at the end, myself, and then everyone else that I've seen, like I said on the forums, that said, we want that beta back. And they pretty much didn't listen to people, and now it stings for the worst. It's still with the blind firing issue. The biggest problem with Uncharted 3 and the multiplayer is that a lot of people blind fire. And yes, that is a tactic, and yes, the developers have said that they like that part of the game and probably won't change that. But the biggest problem with blind firing is there's no real defense to it. There's no way of countering that, short of rolling and dropping a nade. That's it. In my eyes, it was a change for the worst, and I wish they didn't put so much effort into that, including adding a gun that was basically only used for blind fire, which still a lot of people use, and I'm sure I'm just like plenty of people that get so mad because there's no way of really defending yourself against that. So that was a problem. I don't think that the multiplayer now for Uncharted 3 doesn't really compare to Uncharted 2, I think. Even with the damage level problems and the lag problems, because even still, we still have a fuckload of lag problems. I played a group of all Europeans last night, and the actual bodies were falling down 2 seconds after I killed them. Like, they'd stop, and then 2 seconds later, you see them fall, and I get rewarded for that. And I have a very good internet connection. Everything's hardwired. I do speed test on that. It's no problems that I have. I have a low ping. I know all the problems that it could be, and it's not. It's just a fail part of video gaming where you have lag. And I was hoping things like that would be corrected. You still have the blind fire and punch, and if I remember correctly, it took a lot more punches. The punches weren't as powerful in the July beta, and then that once again was changed. I remember having to do blind fire and then still punch 2 people in order for them to, or punch people 2 times, even after blind firing, for them to go down. There's so many better ways that you can do it, and I don't really feel like talking about those right now. I'm just talking about what we actually have here. Further on, the multiplayer were the skins. Those of you that bought the Fortune Hunter and saw it was a $25 deal, and you get all this stuff, you know, even though you pay $25, you get all the map packs and all that character skin DLC for free. That, where are we at, 5 minutes? That never happened. It did happen, but all of my skin packs that I used, because you get 3 or 4 or something, but pretty much all of the ones I used were burnt up on all these old skins that we already have. Now, some of them have new voices, or Flynn has new lines, Tenzin has some new lines and stuff like that, but burning up all those skin packs I paid money for on stuff that we already had, I understand that it's a different game, but I was hoping Naughty Dog would at least continue to distinguish themselves from other money-hungry horror video game developers, and at least say, oh, they already bought these in Uncharted 2, just give them an Uncharted 3. But that wasn't the case. So I can understand that they did that. I was just hoping that they would not. And maybe that's my own fault for holding Naughty Dog at a higher standard. And I understand that you have to make money, but I just think it's a shitty way of doing things, especially to fans that bought all of your previous DLC. Thought a good fix to something like that would see that your previous DLC, do a check and things like that to see that you already purchased these for Uncharted 2, so there's no reason that you shouldn't have them in Uncharted 3. That's my own personal opinion, and that was the problem that I had, at least with the multiplayer. Furthermore, elimination was taken out of multiplayer. They did add a few things in multiplayer, and with treasures and customization, things like that. They definitely added some things, but I don't think when you add things, you should really take things away. A lot of people liked elimination, and you still have that now if you go into a double overtime in these games. But I don't understand why they would take a mode like that out. I like with Co-op Arena how it does a variety, but a lot of people are mad that they can't just play the certain modes that they want, such as all survival and things like that. And that would be cool, and I'm sure it'd be something easy to institute, at least now after a post-game launch, going in and customizing these things and doing it. And I really hope they listen to their fans and see that they want just these certain game modes and make that available to people. But as of right now, I personally like it, but from what I'm reading on the forums, a lot of people aren't. So I think that was a step in the backwards direction, at least for that stuff, because I hate Gold Rush. And I guess I'm on the same side as people that like playing those certain game modes, such as survival only. So that was one of the problems I have with that. Multiplayer, other things don't really stick out. And if I do have any more issues I think of course I'll make a video about it, which will probably be me bitching, but when the time comes, the time will come. As of right now, let's hop right into the story. If you've not completed the story, stop watching the video, because I'm going to be giving away a lot of spoilers. Understood? Capiche? You got it? Fucking A. The story. After I beat the story, I said on Facebook that I had beat it, but I didn't want to give my opinion, because if I was to give my opinion before people played it, such as, for example, I said it was awesome or I said it sucked, it would make you have that decision pre-made that that's the way that the game was going to be, such as, for example, I said that the game sucked, so people are going to go into it thinking that the game has sucked. I didn't want to do that. Here's my honest opinion of the single player. The story-wise, they dropped the ball. The ending was fucking trash, I thought. I couldn't stand it. They built themselves up so high, and there's so many better things that they could have done, but it was just a boring fucking ending. Once again, I have the thought that if you're going to make a game, you improve on things. You add more things. You don't take things away, and they took away a lot in the single player, such as boss battles. Did you really see any crazy boss battles, short of having to fight Talbot at the end, which you could easily win by pressing triangle or pressing the shit out of circle at certain times? There was no challenge in that at all, and I thought that was pretty damn boring. Marlowe just dying just like that, boring. The story department sucked on this. The saving grace to this were the actual developers that made some of the most badass levels, including the airplane level, Abducted, and the cruise ship level and things like that. Those were awesome. I love those. Some of my favorite moments in Uncharted. But when it comes to the story and tying things all together, they really dropped the fucking ball. Not so much in the beginning part, but the ending sucked. Led nowhere. Very fucking boring. So that's my opinion on that. They also got rid of the ability of watching these cinematics. They got rid of the ability of doing, the single player tweaks and things like that. There's no reason to do that shit. I don't know why they would take stuff like that out. it's the same game, and I believe I read something, at least from Naughty Dog, saying it was developmental issues or whatever. What the fuck ever. You had 2 years to make the game. I don't see a reason why they should take those things out. A lot of people were pissed off about it, and I liked personally playing it with that stuff, so they dropped the ball, at least on that stuff. Other problems I have is I can't see a difference in having the multiplayer and co-op different load-ins or different sign-ins, when especially you can go right into co-op stuff right from the multiplayer aspect of it. So hopefully that gets fixed. There's no reason to sign into co-op unless that's all you play and that's all your friends play, because if you get an invite to play some other deathmatch or something like that with your friends, you have to sign out and sign in with the multiplayer. Stupid. So that's my opinion on it. We went to 1050 so far. I didn't want to go too in depth, but I would imagine a lot of people that play the game will have the same issues as I do. They subtracted a lot more stuff instead of adding a lot more stuff. The story sucked. The multiplayer still has a lot of issues where it can't get comfortable in its own skin. And I see a lot of headaches, at least in the future, with this game coming. I was hoping for a lot more. And it's still a great game, one of the best action games you could play, especially for the levels and things like that. But the multiplayer and things like that, I just think they dropped the ball, and it's not as good as Uncharted 2. That's my own personal opinion. I'm sorry if that pisses people off, but that's the way I feel. Let me know if I'm an asshole for feeling that way down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the game, things that can be improved, anything that you feel the need to share with others. You got that section right down there to take a look at. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I've been taking a break from YouTube a little bit because I have a lot of stuff going on. The player profiles will be coming back here in the very near future. I'm going to be banging those out. I do have some crazy stuff going on this week. I hit 1 million views thanks to all of you that have supported me. Dear Lord, do I fucking love you. And that's all I really have. Thank you so much for all the support. Enjoy Uncharted, and I'll see you online. Alright? Later all.